It's always like it's wild. It's absolutely wild. But you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Right into it.
Definitely think they came out with a lot of physicality, and we have to be able to match that. They did their job on their home floor. You have to say that, but we will be ready. Like he said, we will adjust, do some things very differently, and come out here and be ready to get one for game two.
Left side in the fifth row.
Jimmy, Nick Friedel, ESPN. Why do you think the offense struggled so much to find its rhythm throughout the night?
Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were out of breath from the elevation. Or maybe they just didn't go to the rack strong enough because they only had 2 free throws the whole game. That's going to help you win in the finals, right? Two free throws. The lowest in history. But hey, let's make some adjustments.
Probably because we shot a lot of jump shots. Myself probably leading that pack instead of putting pressure on the rim, getting layups, getting to the free throw line. When you look at it during the game, they all look like the right shots. And I'm not saying that we can't, as a team, make those, but got to get more layups, got to get more free throws. And whenever you miss and don't get back, the game gets out of hand kind of quickly. We gave up too many layups, which we also can't have happen. But that's
You know what was really what's really bothering me is this. I don't see the fight. I don't see the intensity. I don't see that aggression and that hunger. Right? Where's the man that said, I don't want to hold the trophy until we get to the finals and win? I want to hold the Larry O'Brien. Where is that intensity, right? It's real soft. Oh, we'll get them next time. What? No, we gonna go in there. We gonna do this. We gonna do this, and we gonna do this, and we gonna beat them by 20. Right? It's real just soft and we went in there and we played a good game, but we missed some shots, and we're gonna make some adjustments, and then we'll come back, and we'll play a little bit of better defense. What is going on? What are we doing? Right? I wanted a finals that I was going to be entertained in. Do you know how many people called me and texted me and was like, yo, Jay, this was probably like the worst game 1 I've seen in a long time. I would really be surprised, and I haven't checked into this, but I will. Game 1 viewership for the last 5 years. I'd have to say this may be like the lowest. Right? If the Heat were going to do this, why not just let the Celtics win? At least that would have been more of an exciting show because they have the size to match the Nuggets. I'm sure that you guys can agree. And it's really unfortunate, right? I'm not going to put all the blame on Jimmy. He played for 38 minutes. He had 13 points. He made 1 out of his 2 threes, had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. 1 steal and 1 block. 13 points are what we expect from Jimmy Butler, right? We expect 13 points in a game 1. Okay. But what about Mr. Max Strus? Huh? 21 minutes. He went 0 for 10. 0 for 9 from 3. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. You're not going to win the finals with Max Strus playing like that, right? But you know what? You know what? Who will cover some of the slack for you? Caleb Martin, the same man that you guys were caping for and saying that he should have had MVP. Is this the same Caleb Martin that played for 25 minutes, had 3 points, went 1 for 7 from the field, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 steal, 1 block? Is that the same person that y'all said should be MVP? Is that the Caleb Martin that y'all requested? I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets sweep at this point. I'm really disappointed. I don't know what happened. I guess they just decided to, not play basketball for game 1. Hopefully game 2, there's a difference, right? We could at least hope there's a difference, and hope that Spoelstra can make some kind of adjustments from a coaching side of things to figure out how to stop Jokic, because Zeller's not going to do it. So we have to figure out something, because Adebayo's having a tough time. But keep in mind, if you look at the first quarter, Jokic really didn't have to do anything. It was Aaron Gordon, the Jamal Murray show. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen? Text 713 says, man, altitude really changes things. Does altitude really alter your shot? I mean, I'll get you're winded, right? You're winded. I'll take that, right? Winded, you make a little tired. But, hey, you still going to score some points, right? Caleb Martin went from 26 points to 3. But, hey, hopefully Jimmy and company can make the right adjustments for game 2 and at least make it somewhat challenging for these Nuggets. Or else it's going to be a clean sweep. Shout out to Serious Biz in the house. What up, yo? What's up, Bob? Shout out to you, man. Xangel says, I love you. I love Ja, but he won't change. We'll get to that in a moment here. Speaking of Ja, there was another recent update from Mr. Adam Silver, and he basically, we'll play the video. We'll go ahead and play the video.
Investigation involving John Morant, and can you update us on where you are on the timeline, when you expect it to end? And since there seems to be not a lot of precedent for this situation, how do you assess what kind of punishment to deliver, if indeed there is a punishment here?
So in assessing what discipline is appropriate, if that's the case, we look at both the history of prior acts, but then we look at the individual player's history as well. And so and the seriousness, of course, of the conduct. So those are all things that get.
So I mean, obviously, when you look at the history, the things that the player has done, their background, the issues that may have been discovered in your new investigation that probably may have not even been brought up to the public, all that kind of stuff is going to play into the fact of whatever decision you make right now, right? I mean, it'd have to. Because if you've already suspended something for someone, right? Think about it, like, put it into our perspective, right? As a kid, when you got in trouble, right? I don't know, you did something, you may have stayed out too late. All right. You get disciplined, you get punished for it. It's the first time you did it, right? It may be a little lenient on you too, right? All right, it's the first time. We understand. Kids make mistakes, right? Well, let's say like a month goes by. Well, you do it again. Well, at that point, the punishment is going to be more severe, as it should be. Let's keep going.
It's not an exact science. It comes down to judgment at the end of the day on the part of me and my colleagues in the league office. In terms of the timing, we've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was still asked about the situation, I would say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agrees with us, that it would be unfair to these players and these teams. In the middle
so hold on, wait a minute. You've already got the information. You've already digested it. You've already figured out what happened in the course of action that you're going to take moving forward. But you don't say what's going to happen. You basically drop a press release in the middle of the finals. Why not just have this after the finals? Why even address it? Why say that we're going to address this after the finals? And it's really weird. I don't get why you would even have this if you weren't going to just say what was going to happen, right? Is it something that's just going to be so severe that it shakes up the NBA? What's the difference? Let it out now. Let's see what else he has to say.
To announce the results of that investigation, and given that we're of course in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, and so nothing would have changed anyway in the next few weeks. It seemed better to park that at the moment, at least any public announcement. And my sense now is that shortly after the conclusion of the finals, we will announce the outcome of that investigation.
Yeah, so it goes back to what I said. Why even have this discussion right now? Why have this press release? Why have all the media come out just to basically say, hey, we're doing we did an investigation. We know what we're going to do, but we're not going to tell you guys until after the finals because we want to respect the players and the game of basketball right now. Make it make sense. I don't understand the relevance of why you wouldn't just say it. But hey, they have their own agendas, and they know how to play the media better than anybody, albeit the NFL is probably the best. But hey, it's really interesting to hear this, and I really do wonder. I dropped the poll for you guys. I said, hey, will Ja Morant be suspended the whole 23 to 24 season? 41% of you said yes. 36% of you said no. 14% said don't care, Nuggets in 4. And 9% of you says don't care, Heat in 5. So, personally, I do think that Ja's going to be suspended for the whole season. I really think there's going to be a lot of, discussion about intervention, discussion about, getting his mental health checked, especially considering, him dropping those cryptic tweets and those messages on Instagram and then deleting them and then having the cops come out to his house and check on him and all that kind of stuff. I hate to say that someone is grasping or reaching out for attention, right? But in a sense, it's kind of like, hey, I did this. Y'all know what this is. I did this. I got smacked on my wrist, right? I got smacked on my wrist. Everybody's talking about me now. And now I'm going to beat myself up, or I'm going to put myself into a situation to where I get depressed about it when I did these things to myself. And now everybody, and I'm not going to discredit the fans because I have respect for Ja and I love him as an athlete. When are we going to start holding people accountable for their actions and stop just smacking them on the wrist saying, oh, it's okay. I understand. People know what they do. So why is it that we sit here, we act like they don't, and we turn a blind eye? But when somebody else does this, they're vilified and basically plastered everywhere to be this bad person. But for select individuals, they want to hold their hand through it, albeit there's a lot of money involved. I get it. But there's got to be a level of accountability held across the board. Across the board, right? You do something one time, all right, it's a mistake. You do something twice, it's not a mistake. You meant to do it. You just didn't care. And that's the reality of it. We got to look at the reality of things and stop with the blinders, because that's what a lot of people seem to continue to have. Shout out to Johnny Southside, says if you watch the Pat McCaffrey show, you'll understand why and how long he'll be suspended. Serious Biz says some couldn't fathom things that were put to bed by the NBA. The wellness check, okay. However upstanding a person is, if you speak truth to power like Craig Hodges and Colin Kaepernick did, well, you know how that went. Tactical says the social media posts are a little cry for help. It could all be staged. Hey, you never know, right? I did something bad. Let me go on social media, cry out for help, and then they'll feel bad for me and feel sorry for me, right? And then I'll go get some help, all will be well. Then I'll get back to collecting these millions. Right? Shout out to you, Tactical. Says, Jay, someone asked you about second chances. He had that. Yeah, somebody asked me. Somebody asked me about second chances. And listen, I remember a time, and I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all, right? I remember a time when I was a kid. I got disciplined for something that I did, or for a few things that I did, right? Right off the jump. Right? You don't always get a second chance, right? Keep in mind, some people, whether it's entertainment, whether it's being an athlete, you're getting paid millions of dollars to do what you love, right? You know how many people want to be in that situation? You know how many people who would be in that predicament and not make those same mistakes because they would understand it and respect what they're given and be appreciative of it? Right? You know, there's talks, people always saying like, hey, well, you know, he's young and he doesn't know what he has. And you mean to tell me this man who didn't have hundreds of millions of dollars, who now has it, doesn't know what they have? They know exactly what they have. They just don't care. Because a lot of people feel like they're above where they are, no matter what. There's a lot of people in this new society, right? I call it the new society because things have definitely changed over the last couple decades. But there's a lot of people who think they're invincible now. We see it every day. Johnny Southside says it was stupid and he needs to understand the consequences. Money, NBA is a business. Well, keep in mind, I said in the last stream that the NBA was going to make sure that he was taken care of, right? Because there's so much money behind him. The man sold out his shoes in 48 hours. His shoes sold out in 48 hours, right? He's still worth millions. So there's going to be a lot of people behind him. There's going to be a lot of influence behind him that's going to try to make sure he's okay because of what they stand to lose. Not because what he stands to lose, because of what they can lose. So you got to look at the bigger picture of things. A lot of these companies and stuff don't really care about him as the individual. They care about the investment that they made in him. That's the difference. That's what they care about. That's why they'll try to get this person help. Shout out to Johnny Southside. Says, Ja already lost over $30 million, but doesn't matter. He will understand when his bank account says $3. Yeah, but then it's too late, right? At that point. Tactical says, athletes who act like professionals never get talked about. It's not interesting news. That's true. That is true, right? Someone who is a family man, keeps his head down, you know, plays the sport, goes out there and wins or loses. But you know, stays out of the light. Looking at you, Russell Wilson. Matter of fact, the only real news we hear from Russell Wilson is about Sierra. So you know, that says something. Shout out to you, Russell. It's all love, bro. But no, you know, you make a good point. Like, nobody really talks about Russell Wilson because he's not that guy. He doesn't do controversy. But controversy is what sells, you know? And it's just a shame because once you look at the negative light of where Ja is, where he's actually from, and what he's portraying to be right now, it's really a shame because he's not from that lifestyle at all. Shout out to Sirius as untouchable. Yes, indeed. God complex. Hey, that's what happens when you get millions of dollars, right? Can't nobody tell you nothing. Tom says, unless you're JA-17. Well, listen, the only controversy he had was because of who? Brittany, right? All we cared about is Josh winning, and we didn't hear too much news about him in regards to anything crazy. Only thing we did hear about is when him and Brittany broke up, and that was like a scandal for 2 weeks. And then he moved on, right? If you want like some crap to break out about you, then that's pretty that's normal stuff. People break up all the time. But I mean, you don't see Josh Allen on Instagram waving a gun around, yo. That'd be the day. That'd be the day. Um, Bob says, I say he will get banned for life, or they would have already said something. Nah, he's not going to get banned for life. I think it's going to be an indefinite thing. But they're gonna do the same thing that they did to Kyrie, to John. They're gonna say you have to do a list of these specific things, and they're gonna walk with him step by step through that list of things, and then as he checks them off, it'll get him closer to basically getting back on the court. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming he's gonna get suspended. He's gonna have to do these lists of things, and they're gonna call it an indefinite suspension until he takes these necessary steps. I think that's basically what it's going to boil down to. So, Johnny Southside says he has all the talent, and my homies do too. They would all be in his shoes. Exactly. Like, you get it. You already know. Tom Bullard, exactly. Need good support and mentors. Well, those aren't too hard to find. They're right there. But you just got to take advantage of it. That's the difference. Some people don't want to take advantage of it. Because if you go look at Ja's videos, some of his old videos on his Instagram, you'll see the people that he hangs around, right? I feel like don't forget where you came from, but understand that you should grow, right? And understand that you're going to have friends with you in the beginning, and you're going to have friends with you when you make it, and you're going to have friends with you at your lowest, and friends that leave you at your lowest, and then those other friends at your highest. It's a roller coaster, right? And I feel like the same friends that he has are the same ones that are going to dip out when he's at his lowest. And it's going to be a wake-up point for him at that point. Because we see it time and time again. Someone's at their highest, they're living that life, they're good, everyone's around. Actually, speaking of someone that just went through this, Ryan Garcia. Shout out to my boxing fans. Ryan Garcia just went through this with his boxing camp, right? Riding that wave, right? He was fighting, winning fights, undefeated, right? Everybody was around him. Everybody loved him. He got beat by Gervonta. They all left him. It happens every time. Shout out to Teddy. Says born August 10th, 1999. That explains it all. I recommend Donovan Mitchell's shoe. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen Donovan's shoe. I got to check it out. Memphis Predators never lost in Pittsburgh. Tom says, do you think this crushes his cardboard market for long term, or think there's a chance to buy at the bottom out to plan on a comeback story? Looks like worked out for Fernando Tatis Jr. Different situation though. Yeah, steroid use and MLB is way different from someone waving around a gun, and on their social media in the NBA. The MLB is so different when it comes to steroid use. It's like literally the end of your career. Once they find out you're cheating or you're taking the juice, your MLB career is basically almost done. Now there are certain people who can come back, right? We've seen it from time to time, but if you're a card collector, right, their card prices never fully recover. They'll still be worth something, but not what they were in their glory. It's different. It's different. I've got some John Morant cards. I'm sure I took a hit on him, but at the end of the day, will he come back? Sure. But so this is the thing. Every year that you have in your sports career defines whether or not you're going to be great. And if you get suspended for a whole year, who's to say you come back in 24, 25 playing at the same level? What if you get injured? Anything can happen. What if you lose those hops that you had, right? All that time. And I'm not saying that he's not going to go out and train and do what he needs to do to stay in shape, but that's a lot of time to not be playing in something that you've been doing professionally. Things change in a year's time. So, Johnny says, yes, indeed, all those people now gone now. Crickets. Stephen Davis says Morant has no friends. His loser friends would leave him if they were true friends. Spoken like a true Ideologist, Steven. Tom says, I'm guessing it's whatever collector, speculator, or investor's perception. Well, think about it like this, Tom. All cards are down right now anyways. I think it was the only thing that's up right, well, not the only thing, but the two, last time I checked, the two card markets that were up was, I think, racing and football. And we know why football is creeping up, because we're about to come on the football season. So everybody's buying everything up right now, doing their prospecting and all that kind of stuff. And that's, every to be honest, I was looking at, I'll show you guys. I was looking at this card. Let me pull it up. I was looking at this card. It was crazy. I was actually looking at purchasing it, and I was just like, all right, let me let me bid on this card. Wait till you see this thing. This is absolutely insane. It was a Stephen Curry Ruby Flawless. It just sold. But let me show you guys what's going on in the card market right now. It's absolutely crazy. All right, here we go. 21-22 Panini Flawless Stephen Curry Ruby 75th anniversary autograph. This thing is nasty. Absolutely nasty. Look at this thing. On card auto. It was number 12 out of 15. Very, very nice card. It sold for $2,370.99. Now, here's the thing about eBay, especially right now. Shout out to you, Forrest. The thing about eBay right now and the card market specifically is this. You really have to be careful as far as, what you're bidding on, and I'll show you why. So I was bidding on this card. They're going to try to make me log in. So I'll just tell you. I was bidding on this card, right? This card was it started off at $1, which is normally where the cards start unless it's something super crazy. But I knew this card was going to go over 1,000. Here's where it gets tricky. There was actually two listings for this specific card. Now, the bidding started off at 99 cents. It was me. It was basically about 5 other people. So I start bidding. We're going back and forth. This bidder comes out of nowhere with 0 feedback. 0. New account. Bid all the way up to like $500. I'm like, here we go. You don't know who's actually bidding on these cards, right? Especially if it's a 0 account. It could be someone just shell bidding. Shell bidding is when basically someone just bids it up as much as they can, hopefully getting you caught in the crossfire of that bidding to maximize how much money they can make. There was literally, out of the 34 bidders, it was about, I want to say, it was probably a little over 7 or 8 zeros on this card. So once it hit over 1,000, I was like, I'm done. I'm out of it. I'm not gonna play that game. So whoever got it, hey, good luck to them. Hopefully it's worth that to them. But to me, I'm not playing that game. eBay is kind of like the Wild West, and once you start getting into the process of bidding against 0 accounts and all that kind of stuff, you start playing a game with money that I'm not comfortable playing. So, but that was just to give you an example. There's certain cards that obviously are going to sell for more than what the average card would, but in general, most cards are just down from a general market standpoint. Shout out to you, Turk. What up, man? What's going on with you? Cardell says Nuggets in 6. Tom says I'm in the $5 to $100 market, so that's Steph a bit out of my range, but eventually, yeah, man. Waiting on NFL, yeah. Serious, I need to look up my values. I have some amazing cards from all sports. Look them up, bro. Could definitely be surprised. What's up with Von? We're going to get into that next. Mr. Von Miller. Von Miller. All right, so yeah, let's go and get into Von now. I hope I gave you guys some good insight as far as, with Ja and all that kind of stuff. I don't want it to seem like I'm bashing the guy or nothing like that. I do wish him the best in his career. I just think that he needs to make the right changes, get around the right people, and just play the game. Play the game, enjoy the wealth that comes from it, and entertain the people. Stop entertaining these Instagram thoughts. I said it. All right, next up, Mr. Von Miller. See what these guys have to say here.
Full window closing.
Yes, it is, everybody. And if you listen to the general manager, he's kind of letting you know that as well in the offseason when he said it's kind of hard to go out and, get pieces and, when you're paying the quarterback so much, right? I think that was a direct shot at Josh Allen. And Josh Allen finds himself in a crazy position because they're trying to change the way he plays. And, that's always tough when you try and change the way somebody plays naturally because they get stuck in an identity crisis. Too often they depend on Josh Allen to be the best passer and also the best part of their run game, and that has to change. And you look at what's happening now with Diggs. In 2024, I believe.
So let me stop it there. Here's the issue that I have with adjusting Josh Allen, right? The scheme that we've had with Josh Allen running, I would say has been very effective for the most part. Now, should he not be taking as many hits? Obviously, right? We don't want him to get hit. That leads to injuries and him being out and the reason why his elbow was screwed up and him playing through it and all those crazy issues, obviously. But we need a good running scheme that basically takes him from that many running plays, right? We need a good running back. We've had some decent ones. But Josh Allen, you're not getting that kind of run that Josh Allen gives, that big, burly run game, and he's running people over, jumping over people. It's really difficult to get that in a small running back. So that's why he's used. Because most defenses really aren't built for that. And that's why they've been using it to their advantage. But let's keep it going.
Cap number is $27 million. We understand that when they paid Von Miller $160 million, that was a funny deal, right? They can get out his as his salary cap number pops up. And then they went back and they brought Jordan Poyer back, Micah Hyde. They decided to give Poyer his money, but those guys are aging. Von Miller has been the quarterback Super Bowl whisperer, but he got injured last year. He's about to be 34 years old, and he's going to have to decide in a couple of years, does he want to continue playing? Because he's already got the money. He has 2 Super Bowls. What else does he have to play for?
So, I mean, obviously you play for another Super Bowl. That's what you play for. But, hey, listen, I don't think, and this is going to be a hot take. You guys know I'm a Bills Mafia member. Shout out to you, Frederica. What's up with you? Long time no see. Shout out to you. I don't think that Von Miller being in would have made really much of a difference. We had so many issues at defense that Von Miller being out just, it was just a part of the equation. It wasn't like he was the total X factor and why the Bills were having a tough time. The defense in general was abysmal. We played like trash. And then even on offense, we're making so many issues we had so many issues and problems that it wouldn't have mattered. Now, Von coming back, yes. Obviously, this is good news for numerous reasons, right? There's going to be a shakeup as far as with the defense because Tremaine Edmonds is gone. He's now with the Bears. Shout out to you, Immortal. He's with the Bears now. He's playing with Mr. Justin Fields. So is Von going to help out in regards to that pass rush? Yeah, we're going to need him back. But is it one of those things where he was the X factor and, we lost because Von was gone? No, not at all. Josh is going to have to work on, obviously, his quarterback situational awareness, working on the fact of, hey, I can't throw into tight pockets, especially when I know that it's most likely going to get picked off, right? That's what the experience and how understanding the field as a quarterback is going to come into play, right? So we're on the 5th year. Yeah. So it's Allen's 5th year. If you've learned anything and if you're going to be great, this is the year. Obviously, we can sit back and say, hey, got to the AFC Championship and, choked against KC, choked against the Bengals. Fine. It's his 5th year. It's still going to be very difficult in the AFC with all the shakeups, all the differences as far as in the in the AFC East. So this is the year where Allen's really going to have to focus. And also the issues with Stephon Diggs, figure out what kind of chemistry problem is happening there. There's a lot of, I want to say, emotion going on in the Bills locker room right now. So we'll have to see. Von Miller coming back, yes, it's great. But there's a lot of things that we're going to have to pay attention to once preseason starts. Shout out to you, Patty. I hope it's our year as well. I really do. Text 713 says, here comes the Commanders. Tom says, I don't call holding NFL's record for top 2 quarterback games in playoffs as choking. Tom, there's no more of a bigger Bills Mafia fan than myself. All right? We choked. There's no way that we should have let the Bengals come in our house in our kind of weather and destroy us on our field. I had to wear a hat because of that. I will never forget that game. It still burns me. It still burns me. Now, I get it. It's a team game. The biggest problem, it couldn't stop the run, and we know that. But what happens when your defense isn't able to play at the level that you need them to, right? Do you just sit back and you say, oh, well, I'll try? Or do you take over? Shout out to Stephen David, says 49ers 23-24. Shout out to Brock Purdy. How's he doing on that injury? How's he doing? Bills ran 59 plays week 1 last year. That was a team effort. Fins almost did it to us. It was compounding issues all season. Well, and the sad part about the Fins is I do believe that if Tua wouldn't have got injured, it would have been a way different scenario between the Dolphins and the Bills. And we would have been having a terrible discussion when it came to them as well. Shout out to you, Frederica, for the $9.99 super chat. I got to get Ric Flair in the building. Hold on. Hold the phone. Ric Flair, where are you at? I got to adjust the volume so it's not too loud. Ric Flair, where you at? There we go. All right. Shout out to you, Frederica. Thank you for the $9.99 donation. I do thank you for the support. Stephen Davis has just wanted to let you know where I stand on. I feel you, Stephen. Listen, 49ers really surprised me. I was proud of them as a franchise. They did some great things. They played great football. Brock Purdy came out ready to ball, right? It's rare that you see a rookie who's able to come out and do the things that he did. So I'm actually excited to see how his career goes and whether or not he'll be the man for the 49ers moving forward. Tom says Bills need to escape injuries and weird outside circumstances like playing a home game in Detroit and calling off a game after a quarter. But I feel you, Jay. I'm putting it here for my own sake. Listen, at the end of the day, nobody knows how that game would have went when the Bills played the Bengals in Cleveland. right? We don't really know how that would have went considering the situation with DeMar Hamlin. We can't say that the Bills would have won or lost. What we do know is that there was an issue that happened, and it shook up the whole thing. Does it really make much of a difference? Probably does. The reality is it doesn't, though. Bob Evans says Purdy is one and done. Yo, Bob is a 49ers hater. 49ers hater. He's like, I hate him. Forget Purdy. He's one and done. He's out of here. Oh, man. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to all you guys. He took command like a veteran. I got sick of hearing his last name every 5 minutes. It was Purdy mania. It was definitely Purdy mania. But all right, let's get into this Von Miller story real quick. Says he expects to play in the season opener on September 11th, approximately 10 and a half months after suffering an ACL injury in his right knee. You know I love guarantees, Miller told Channel 9 News in Denver on Thursday. It's me, it's Von. I love guarantees. I want to play. In 2013, I had ACL surgery in January. I played at the beginning of August in the preseason, so that put me around 7 months, 8 months. And 10 years removed from that 2023, I have a whole new outlook. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and in the position where I'm at now. I feel great. I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm ready to go at the start of the season. So that's good. That is good to hear from Mr. Von Miller. And listen, I'm excited for these Bills versus the Jets. All right? It's going to be crazy. We're going to be here like always. We're going to have a wild time this year. You guys already know the channel has grown significantly since last season, so I do expect this season to be even more wild as we rapidly approach. It's June, ladies and gentlemen. It is June. With that said, let's talk about tomorrow. We've got baseball. Is it baseball tomorrow? What do we got tomorrow? What do we got? It'd have to be something early because I will be busy later. So baseball's tomorrow. Saturday Stanley Cup. Or not Saturday. No. Hold on. Yeah, Saturday is Stanley Cup, right? Am I just tripping? What's going on? Hold on. Saturday at 8. So, yeah, there's baseball and Stanley Cup. I've got some stuff going on, so I may not be able to do game one. But I will probably do a review, give some predictions as far as who I think I'll win. We'll start there. And then game 2 will be Monday. So I'll most likely definitely do Monday. So that's how we'll do it. We'll get into like some predictions, talk about it a little bit tomorrow. And then on Monday, Sunday we have game 2 of the NBA Finals. So I'm definitely streaming on Sunday, 100%. And then on Monday, 100%, it'll be game 2 of the Stanley Cup. I'll watch it. I'll have an idea as far as what's going on, with the players, all that kind of good stuff. And we'll start game 2, Stanley Cup. It'll be a good time. Shout out to you, Jonas. What's up, bro? What's going on with you? Ronald in the building. Teddy says, #1 show on YouTube. Yes, sir. You already know. Stephen Davis says, I heard the Jets wanted the QB to have the name Benny on the uniform so they could play Benny and the Jets during the game. That'd be interesting. I'm sure it'll never happen. I had to pay, who's that? Elton? Elton John a ton of money. Sure he'd want a ton of money. Gonna miss game 1, Eichel versus Reinhardt. Yeah, I'm probably gonna miss game 1. I've got a ton of stuff, but like I said, I'll stream a prediction of it as well. So I'll do both. I'll do a prediction for the Stanley Cup game 1, and then we'll do the prediction for game 2 of the finals. We'll just combine them in one video, but we'll do that tomorrow, probably like midday, right around like 5 o'clock, somewhere around there, 5, 6 o'clock. Shout out to you, Teddy, watching Street Fighter 6 today. Listen, the things that they're doing with Street Fighter 6, like I watched some of the gameplay, it was crazy. I was like, yo, they added in like a whole world where you could just like go through, and it's like a story now, not like the regular story where you just fight the normal characters, but it's like a whole world with like a different story, and you just fight like random people. It's crazy. I like what they're doing. I'm probably gonna check it out. I'm not gonna buy it yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit, just to check out some more reviews, and then I'll probably tap into it. You know what's crazy? My buddy calls me. He's like, "Yo, Jay, do you play Diablo?" I'm like, "I don't play Diablo. Like, I've heard about it before, and like I went and looked at that too. I was like, yo, this looks pretty wild. I don't really know what this is about." So I went and like read the story, and I guess it's like like the angels battling the demons, and it's like a good thing versus it's like a good versus evil thing. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. But that's another one I'm looking at. But yeah, name is wanted for the Jets in the 60s though, so you're good. It's our time for the first. Let's go Bills. Shout out to you, Tom. Both Florida teams win championship before football kicks off. We'll see. We shall see. I don't know about this Heat, man. I don't know. I was riding the Heat wave, pun intended. I was riding the Heat wave, and after what I seen, I think Nuggets in 4. Johnny says, "I want one Bills Super Bowl before I die." Listen, if I had $1 for every time I've heard that, probably have about $50, to be honest. Shout out to you, bro. All right, let me get back to the votes here. 42 votes now. Will Ja Morant be suspended the whole 23-24 season? 36% of you now have said yes. 29% say no. 19% says don't care, Nuggets in 4. And 17 now says don't care, Heat in 5. And that is your votes for what happens to Mr. Morant. Mr. Morant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is going to be the stream for tonight. Jonas says Diablo is an old PC game. Yeah, it's I guess this is like the 4th one. I guess it's like, yeah, this is the 4th one. It just came out today. And it looks crazy. Like the graphics and all that kind of stuff looks wild. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the stream for tonight. Make sure you guys smash that like, that thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Click that bell, turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss the stream. I will see you all tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'm sure you'll be here for Game 2 finals on Sunday. All right? Have a good night, everybody. Peace out.